Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening all, members. Welcome to the Finance and Governance Committee being held at Newton Lees Pavilion on the 4th of February 2025. And I'm Keith Ely, I'm chair of the committee. The fire exits, well, I think hopefully we know, are at the two ends of this room, and the fire assembly point is in the car park, and the toilets are from the main lobby. And you may be aware the meeting is being recorded, and that should be sufficient, I think, for all of us. Yes, thank you. If we can turn to the agenda now. Item 1, to note apologies for absence.
Yes, Chair, we've had apologies from Councillor Fenny Wilson.
Thank you. Item 2, to consider councillors' declarations of interest. Are there any declarations from anyone? Thank you. Item 3, to approve the draft minutes of the previous meeting of the committee. I was hoping you've all read the minutes. So if you just drop through but one page at a time, page 1, page 2, page 3, and finally page 4. Right, that's it. They are they agreed? Those in favour? Yep. Thank you. I'll sign those. Item 4, public speaking time.
Yes, Chair, we've had no representations from members of the public.
Lovely. Item 5, to review and comment on any planning applications due for review by Milton Keynes City Council. Item 5.1 is 5 Sunset Close. Change of use from C3 to C2 children's home for a maximum of 3 children between the ages of 7 and 17. Are there any comments anyone wishes to make? No? No comment? Noted. Right, so now we get to item 6. To review and note the property disposal of 1 Fern Grove. There's a plan showing where 1 Fern Grove is. It's within the bounds of Leon School. Now, are there any comments anyone wishes to make? Yeah? Nothing, Richard? No. Oh, I thought you went hand up. Sorry.
Yeah, Chair, it really was just for members to note the report. Obviously, when it comes up for planning permission, then we obviously come back to the committee again.
Okay, thank you. Item 6. Item 7, to review and note the financial management information showing income and expenditure, pages 15 to 26.
Not really much to say, but every time it comes to finance and governance, and the last time it came to full council, really it's just to reiterate that we are looking at quite a substantial underspend again this year, but for fairly obvious reasons. Obviously, the loan repayment board hasn't gone out this year because we haven't got the funding. Obviously, there's 2 vacancies on the establishment, so there's various items that make up that underspend. So I just wanted to reiterate that obviously.
Right. Are there any comments? Any comments? Any questions about the item 7? No. To review and noted. Item 8, to review and note cash and investment reconciliations to the 31st of December 2024, pages 27 to 56. Right.
Yes, Chair, I'd just like to add, obviously, with this is to December, now we've even, I've just done the bank recs for January, so unfortunately they couldn't be part of this committee meeting, but all the bank recs continue to be signed off on a monthly basis by a member of this committee, so.
Right. Thank you. Any comments from anyone? Everyone happy? Thank you. Item 9, to review and note the council's balance sheet as at the 31st of December 2024, pages 57 to 62. That's going to take some finding, isn't it? 57. Close. Item 9. Right. Any comment about that? No? Are we noted? Thank you. Item 10, to ratify a list of payments made or due to be made to 28th of February 2025, pages 63 to 68, 63 to 66. Number. Any comments from anyone? Are we happy with that? So do we agree, ratify it?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 11, to receive a report on the funding for the redevelopment of Sycamore House and Hall, page 67 to 70.
Would you like me to say a few words on
Yes,
it?
please.
Okay. I think that the report is probably fairly self-explanatory, but I'll just take you through it. First of all, obviously, we did, the end of November, we submitted an application for Salix funding in respect of the decarbonisation scheme. Unfortunately, we've had a letter to say that we were not successful in that bid for technical reasons, one of which was, obviously, I've attached the letter from Salix with the explanations. They failed, we couldn't provide end-of-life evidence for the boiler in Sycamore Hall. And this is through no fault, you know, Milton Keynes Council did not have any information they could give us, so we just couldn't prove. It had no serial number, there was just not the information there. It's old. It was just very old and it didn't work. And obviously the energy saving calculations beyond figures from the EPC, that's all that we could provide because, you know, it's been so long out of action, the system. So, so that's the negative. On the positive side, we actually have been quite successful in terms of the carbon offset fund. We've just recently received confirmation that we'll be awarded 115,000 against some of our energy saving measures within the redevelopment. And we actually, it's about 10k over section 106 funding. There was some small pots, but we've managed to secure about 10,000 from all three pots, and we've actually had the money in our account and set aside now for the redevelopment. We're in the process of, there was some community hall funding available for the Eton Lees development. We're putting that in a draft application, because obviously still we get the final costings, because they'll have to be redone. And then, so hopefully Milton Keynes City Council will approve that in the draft form. So we've got the first call on that funding, and when that amounts to about 117,500. And the thing I didn't put in this report was obviously the application for borrowing from the Public Works Loan Board for 750,000. That has been submitted now. Yeah. Okay.
Right. I didn't realise it has to go through the county branch first.
Yes, yes, and they look at it and then it gets submitted with another form to the Public Works Council. In the Department of Levelling Up, who then approve it and then.
Bureaucracy. So is that all the funding streams that we've applied for and are successful with?
Yes, all the grants, but there is a potential, obviously, the external consultant we use. There is a few other pots of money that we can potentially dip into, including national lottery funding. But it's more limited funding. But I think until we do the full kind of procurement exercise, we get the final costings. Like the national lottery funding, it's small pots of money, say up to 20k. If we can identify a project within that development that we could specifically allocate to the national funding lottery. So there is still potential for other funding sources, but we haven't actually looked into that yet.
Right. But the consultant's going to look at them later.
Well, I've yet to confirm back, but yeah, there is other pots of money.
Any other questions from anyone? Kathy, right. So the report is noted. Thank you. Item 12, to receive an update report on the refurbishment of Albert Street toilets and to consider installing CCTV to protect against and deter future vandalism and misuse. Pages 71 to 80. Right. Any comments? The work is underway.
Yeah.
And as I spoke to Will yesterday, and I think the strip out is more or less complete inside. And you'll see that Will has also looked at an estimated cost putting CCTV into and outside the Albert Street toilets. The idea behind that was that we wanted to get the views of the committee, whether or not you agree with it, firstly, and secondly, whether or not we actually go ahead and then get quotes, formal quotes from at least 3 contractors. So your comments are really.
Can I just add something else, Chair? I'm speaking to the premises manager, just to note that if there was CCTV installed, the recording unit would be within the Albert Street toilets. We would not be able to access it remotely at all. The only time that we would access it if there was a reported damage and we needed evidence to support the investigation.
And the recording equipment is not in the public section. It's in a secure area behind.
I'm guessing, just from reading the document, that actually equipment is capable, but it requires us to have broadband to the toilets in order to be able to view it.
No.
So that actually says here. So it is network LAN and WAN connectivity, and if it was connected to the internet, could be viewed on a smartphone or a web browser.
Yes, but that isn't the case at the moment.
No.
That's why it's being recorded within the building itself.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's only if vandalism occurs that we would then want to go and have a look at what's being recorded. And there's two aspects to it. One is that there's cameras inside the building, but there's also cameras on the outside. So you can record, if something's happened inside, you can check who's gone in and come out at the sort of time that the vandalism has taken place inside. The risk, of course, is that they themselves could be vandalised. But again, the outside cameras will assist in telling us whether they're going in and out. And even if they have been damaged, the recordings hopefully will still be there.
From a security point of view, I think it's about time we put cameras in the toilets, considering the amount of money over the years that we spent on them toilets. Anything that captures anybody vandalising, it's got to be a plus for the council, and it's video evidence for the police. So
I think it's one method of protecting our investment, isn't it? Yeah. £50,000 is going in there.
it's a lot of money.
It is.
We need to ensure that the maintenance covers checking those cameras on a regular basis. If we haven't got remote access to them, a camera is useless. If you go and get the recordings and it's broken, it's not available, it's down. So we need to ensure that any maintenance partner is checking them regularly.
Yeah, can I just add, so in terms of the officer team, regular checks, and I think it's probably twice daily, morning and late afternoon. So in terms of ensuring the building is secure.
Again, from a security point of view, most cameras systems should be able to be recorded. As long as they're recorded for that 10 days, so they really works itself. So the recording's got to be kept digitally for about 20 days.
Sorry, Richard. Taking Craig's point, the very point about the recordings and so on, and the standard of maintenance, it's really, if we approve it tonight, then the detail will be put into a final document to go out for tender purposes. And we will note the fact that we want regular checking of the equipment and its maintenance. So, go on, Ron.
Yeah. Well, way back I said this is the way to go, this is it, to save vandalism and other things that go on in there as well. It's not only vandalism, it's other noises that go on in there, toilets. And as you say, you've got 2 of our guys in there. I'm probably going there 3 times a day anyway. You know, if I'm up the road, I need to go to the toilet, I nip in there. So I'm always about anyway. So if I see anything's broken, I can report that straight away.
I mean, the sighting of the cameras in the toilet is critical.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be functional, but at the same time, it's got to be discreet. But apparently, we've been advised that that can be done, and they are fairly high, not within easy reach of individuals. So,
well, what I've seen in the toilet in Aylesbury, in the men's, it don't point to your urinals.
No.
It points just away. And in the ladies, it points all the way down because the women shut the doors anyway, but it's not over the door.
that's right, yeah.
Just on level of the door, you know.
So, would it be your wish then that we in fact do go for tender purposes for CCTV?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Those in favour?
So I was going to say, Chair, I actually think that there's just one quote that's been provided, it's not a sender.
No, that's what I'm saying. We would go for tender.
Okay.
This is a quote,
Or procurement anyway.
yeah,
Okay.
there's a procedure. We go through the whole proper procedure, yeah. So that, yeah, those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Item 13, correspondence received from the council's landscape equipment supplier, George Brown, regarding significant changes to their operation. Now you've seen the details on pages 81 to 84. I'll find it. The effect on us is that Leighton Buzzard currently carries out the maintenance on their equipment. And that depot is closing, and the depot will now be at Cheshire. So again, it's not a million miles away, not as convenient, but it's still pretty good. And Will is fairly confident that the level of service that we get now, which is extremely good, will be maintained. And as you know, we are in the process of getting more equipment for the expanded service that we're taking on, which comes up again at item 14, but other work as well. And so that it's important that we get a reliable contractor. Any comments?
Can we just say something? Obviously, I've spoken to the premises manager, and you know, he has looked at other quotes beside George Brown's, and they don't offer the same package that the George Brown's do for leasing this equipment. You know, the current servicing package does provide good value for money, so that's why he wants to go for obviously we require a third mower, which is within our budget next year. You know, he really wants to kind of have the committees feel as to whether they're happy with the leasing arrangements as we currently stand going forward, and also whether you're happy for Community and Environment Committee to for them to formally approve any quotes that we may receive, because obviously we're time pressure getting this new mower in for the new year. So
Yeah.
kind of 2 elements to
Yeah.
this agenda item.
That's important, actually, yeah. because they've got to get a quick decision, as quick as possible, for the new grass growing season. So, any other comments anyone's got?
Stay as we are, stay with them.
Okay, thank you. I would second that. So we stick where we are, and we also would authorise the environment, what is it, environment,
Community and Environment Committee.
to accept the tenders, the quotations on behalf of the council. Yeah, those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you. Item 14, to approve contracts for the undertaking of additional landscape maintenance work in Newton Lees. Pages 85 to 98.
Chair, I need to declare an interest in this item in the second document, which relates to Newton Lees Phase 6. I am a resident of Newton Lees Phase 6, and so I think it would be better for me to leave the meeting whilst you discuss it, unless you want to consider each document separately.
Let's do each separately. It's a good idea. If you,
I'm not sure what phase am I.
You're on Phase 6.
no, you don't have to leave. Are you on the first document?
No, you're on Phase 6.
Well, hang on. Oh, dear. Hang on a minute. It's going to leave us 1, 2.
That's still enough.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. Because my grandson lives on Phase 6 as well, but I don't have a peculiar interest in it. So I'm saying.
Isn't that same? We haven't got petrol, can't even say the word, interest.
Peculiar interest. What you do is, because if it changes the price that you ultimately got to pay for this work to be done, it could have the effect of either increasing or decreasing the amount. So it's actually financial interest you've got.
Yeah.
And on that basis,
But we do have 4 members of the committee who are not declaring an
No,
interest,
no.
so
and we got
you're okay.
3, 5. Yeah, we're still quorum.
Yeah.
Right, but let's go back to the.
Yeah, can I just give
Yeah.
a bit more background? Obviously, liberating estates are, as you say, they're trying to reduce the cost of landscaping for residents of the Newton Lees area, which is currently done by outside contractors. And liberating estates were set up specifically for this reason. In terms of these contracts, it's based on the same formula that was used with the additional work that we are doing for Stoke Hammond Parish Council. Same formula. So we include, it's based upon obviously the hourly rate plus on cost of the members of staff will be physically doing, and then obviously adjusted for covering our overheads as a council. So we're more than happy that actually it's a reasonable amount hourly rate we're charging based upon the work we will be doing for each of these contracts.
Right. Now, the first of these contracts is the drawing is shown on page 92, which is a small piece of land off Galapagos Grove. And any comments on that one? Right, so do we agree that the council carries out maintenance on that part of land? Yeah. Yep, those in favour, oh yeah, well, yes, you two can vote, right. Thank you. Now then, I would suggest, this is the last item actually.
Yeah.
We now come to phase, the second part of the document, which is phase 6, which is a much larger area, but although it covers a large area, there's only really a couple of fairly small areas involved. And one on the plan, towards the bottom of the plan, there you'll see a long line of trees. That is one of the areas. And the other area is a very, very small area. how do I describe it? You'll see that there's
Up and down.
on the sort of the top end of that tree line, there's a bend in the road, and then just on the right, there's a very small
Yeah.
piece of land, and that's
There's
the
some
next
trees
one.
on it.
They are the
Yes.
two main ones.
Mm.
Now, I queried with Will the drawing detail, because the drawing in fact covers what will become highway. Because the street lighting is in that grass verge on the left-hand side,
Mm.
therefore it must become highway.
Mm.
But it's a technical point and it's not material to what we're looking at the moment.
Isn't that strip of land highways, isn't it?
Not at the moment, no. None of it is adopted.
No, of course not.
It will be, but these bits of land won't be. They remain in as a part of this management company.
Yeah.
I've never come across it before, never. I physically adopted, well, a few hundred miles of highway in Milton Keynes. And I've never come across this before. I think it's very poor. I don't like it at all. But anyway, that's a different matter. Can I ask anyone's got any comments?
No, that's before.
We agree that we should carry out the work on that behalf.
Yeah, because it's not, as long as we get our money out of it, as long as we're not,
I'm sure we
money
are.
ain't cost, as long as we make a few quid. That's
Right.
agreeable.
Those in favour? That's unanimous of those that are left. And that's,
Shall I call them in, just to see?
yes, you can. Close the meeting.
Come back in now.
At 7:56.
You didn't adopt it. We voted against it. We had a big discussion.
Yeah.
But continue.
Close the meeting.